What's the atmosphere like down on the pitch? Is it different, and what strikes you about sort of just before kick-off and then during the game?
Well, I think just before kick-off, it doesn't really. It's only when you're going down a tunnel and you obviously you can still like say hi and all that, but then you go out and do the warm-up, then you can feel the atmosphere from the supporters and all that. But once you kick off, it's like you've never known anyone. Like everyone hates each other. It's like when I'm like, and it doesn't matter. No, it's not easy. Then you can have a sort of like talk during the game and to each other, but at the end of the day, your job was you desperate to beat. I was desperate to beat Everton, and Everton desperate to beat Liverpool, and they'll do anything they can because they know how much it means to the supporters, isn't it? It was just fun. But when they finish again,
it's not a strange atmosphere, but it's a different atmosphere in the game, in and around, and. I think anybody that's coming, I mean, we're lucky enough to play in a number of derbies, but anybody that's actually coming into a derby and being featured in for the first time must think, what the hell's this type of thing, because you look at Goodison, you look at Anfield, the two grounds which are quite enclosed, and the atmosphere in both grounds when they're fully packed is quite intense, and I think a lot of the foreigners that come over don't realise that, and then I don't think it's as much now, but years gone by, pockets of red in the blue half and pockets of blue in the Kop and things like that, which it's not as much now. There's not as much as maybe.
Well, that's why I always remember from the game where you scored at Anfield, because Liverpool, obviously after you scored, immediately camped down in the Everton penalty box, and Bruce Grobbelaar was literally like this full-on figure in the penalty box on his own, and with a huge chorus of fans behind him chanting "You're a clown." Everton fans in the Kop, in the bottom left-hand corner, and there was like a significant number of them.
Every year it seemed to get bigger and bigger. That little group of Everton fans in the Kop, and I would say it grew to about maybe 2,000 at one stage. When it was all standing, and you'd have the little outbreaks of obviously isolated bit of trouble, but for the amount of people that were in there, it was very isolated, and which was nice to see. But the same when we played at Goodison, there was people in the street end, Liverpool fans in the street end, and I think that pocket was getting bigger and bigger as well.
Did you ever go as fans, to derby matches?
My first one was the cup game replay. At Main Road.
Oh yeah, the 77 semi-final.
Yeah, that was my first game, because other than that I was playing Saturdays. And you got to remember, in our day every game was played on a Saturday. They weren't played Sundays unless there was a national. We were playing for the reserves, or you were playing for
Saturday.
Your county or your school side.
I mean, people say that they're very different now, derbies. They're not quite as intense, certainly not as brutal as they used to be. I mean, was it like that when you were out there, where tackles flying in ridiculously?
I think there was when we played. There was, and you wouldn't get away with it because it's how the game's changed as well now, and I think it's more of a continental game played in England now. That's why so many foreign players are there and all that. But when we played, there was like fierce tackles going in. You had Reedy and all that, didn't you? Then you had Souness, and
most probably wouldn't get booked nowadays for it. You'd most probably get maybe 7 years.
Because I always remember when we kicked off, the first couple of minutes every time, he used to just boot me, all that. And we played with Wales once, and I was saying, why do you keep booting me and all that? He said, well, it's alright, because the ref gives you 10 minutes to get into the game. And I said, you could do it then, couldn't you? You could do it then. Every time I go to ref, you can book someone in the first minute as well as the last, But in fairness, the ref, you most probably get booked now, wouldn't you? But you get 10 minutes, didn't you?
But it's still a lot of bookings in the games.
Did you ever socialise afterwards? Did you ever go out together?
Yeah, we've been out. I mean, we've gone away on Welsh duty after the game. I think the game where I scored, we were on Welsh duty the next week, rooming together.
Yeah, it was.
His turn for the teas. Get it while I can.
I was going to say, any on topic of conversation that week.
But no, I think we'd been away on numerous times. It all seemed to so and coincide with an international, which is one of the reasons that a lot of the lads are friends. You've got Kevin Sheedy and Ronnie Whelan and Jim Beglin, playing for the Republic. You've got Kenny, you've got Suey, you've got Sharpie, Andy, Stevie Nick as well, all playing for Scotland. So, and everybody knowing each other, and then you'd sort of talk to because I was friendly with Sheeds that we'd be talking to, and you were friendly with Ronnie, weren't you? Especially that we talked to each other, and it was. But once again, you didn't think we talked to each other once the game kicked off, which was great.
Yeah. I mean, you both played in the 4-4 draw, which is like the last time they met in the FA Cup, and popularly received to be one of the best, derbies of all time. I mean, does that figure up, high there in your list of personal favourites?
Well, it might for Ian, because he's a striker. I'm a defender, and we conceded 4 goals.
So you loved it and you hated it.
Well, it was. I think that could have been one of my last derbies as well. The one after. Was my last most probably, but that was it's one of them nights that's it just sort of it was a striker's night, wasn't it?
I think Liverpool lost it rather than Everton drawn it, because we scored like 4 really good goals, and Everton, in fairness to them, they capitalised on the mistakes that Liverpool made, and Tony Cottee, I think he just come on, and most probably only Tony Cottee would have got that goal there. Little like strikers goal when tapping, but he was in there to get him, and
I think
all the mistakes.
The second one was a free kick, a quickly taken free kick, where you switch off for a second these days, but even any day you switch off for a second. And